Direct from Israel and live with us today, Ishai Ribo!
Hello, everyone. Thank you for clicking on. Started a couple of minutes early here. Popular Israeli group is about to perform. I'm hoping I don't get a copyright strike for this, but it just now dawned on me I might and probably will. Anyway, we'll get back to the song in just a second. Once the song is over, I'm going to come back on, and I've got a couple of things to say. This began at 11:30. This is the pre-event. The actual event starts at 1 p.m. And I want to mention here right off the start that this is a tier 1 event as far as Department of Homeland Security is concerned. As you might imagine, this many people in support of Israel gathered in one place is a very tempting target for those that wish to do Israel harm. As you might also imagine, there are many that are saying this is not an Israeli march. This is a Zionist march. The tempers, the rage, the inflammation is high on all sides. And we'll be monitoring at least until 3 o'clock this afternoon. So feel free to join in the chat. And when we get some time, I'm going to talk about what happened last night. But let's get back to the video. I'll be back in about 5 minutes.
שלום לכם עם ישראל. רוצה יסתדר, בסוף הכל יסתדר. יאללה צודק.
All right, one of the most popular bands in Israel has made the trek over to Washington, D.C. That's what we're witnessing right now. If you can chat, and please feel free to chat. We're going to be here for a few hours today, so get comfortable and hop in and out as necessary. And if you'd like to chat, if you're one that enjoys expressing your opinion, make your way over to the YouTube platform. That's the place you can chat. I think also if you're watching on Twitch, thank you for watching wherever you're watching. If you're on one of those two platforms, I think you'll be able to chat. But I don't think the you people can see the Twitch chats. I'm not sure how that works, but anyway. And while I'm here, we'll get back to the song in just a minute. My apologies for those of you that understand Hebrew and would recognize the words of the song. There are going to be speakers. There have been speakers. There are going to be speakers starting at 1 p.m. One of the reasons for concern over this event is the president of Israel is supposed to be speaking. Now, it's not clear whether he's going to be in Israel speaking or he's actually going to be here on ground in Washington, D.C. We've already had one member of Congress come up and speak, and we will have more members of Congress as the day goes along. John Hagee, a televangelist, controversial televangelist, is scheduled to speak, as well as I said, many congressmen and actresses, advocates, and our concern. Chris and I've been on the phone. The concern is for obviously disruptions by those that do not want the event to go along. And we want you all to pay especially close attention to when the president of Israel speaks, because there will be people that want to disrupt that, whether he's speaking from Israel or whether he's here on ground. As most of you in the United States know, Washington, D.C. is a very anti-gun location. So chances are, there's hundreds of thousands of people. There's not going to be a lot of firearms. However, there could be IEDs, improvised explosive devices. There could be vehicles used as IEDs or disruptors. They don't have to get all the way down to the center of the event in order to disrupt the event. Keep that in mind as we progress today. And I say thank you once again. And we go back to audio from the event as well as video.
שהם הולכים לנצח. תודה. I love you too.
And by the way,
אז כל הנוער היקר הזה שנמצא כאן, שהגיע מרחוק, באוטובוסים, במטוסים.
one other thing I want to make clear just briefly. The president of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, is the prime minister. Okay, he's not the president. They're two different people. The president is not really well known. But yes, I agree. I would expect him to be speaking from Israel and not on ground, but we shall see. And we go back to the event.
אני בטוח שהשם שמח בכם, שמח בנו, בערבות ההדדית הזאת, באחדות הזאת. יש לנו רק תפקיד אחד, זה לשמור על זה. את הביחד הזה, לשמור אותו לתמיד. אמן.
Okay, so we'll get one more song here. Hello, Pat Tolliver. Always be kind. True, what's going on, my man? Not going away. Mwah. Thank you for everything you do. We'll be here for a while. Thanks for clicking on.
את שרביטה לכל הפושט ידה אני לא מעלים מעל צאן מרעיתו גם כשנו שברי כלים עודנו כלי חמדתו תוכו רצוף אהבה רצוף אהבה ביתו צפוף לרווחה, צפוף לרווחה, ממציא לנו מחילה, לא רק בשעת הנעילה, לך דומיה תהילה. רב לו, אין ראשית לראשיתו גם השירה ככל היום היא רק מקצת שבחו לפנים בשורת הדין המנהיג את עולמו מלפני המלאכים דורש בשלום עמו תוכו רצוף רצוף אהבה ביתו צפוף לרווחה צפוף לרווחה מוציא לנו מחילה לא רק בשעת הנעילה לך דומיה תהילה עתידו לתת בר שמן ששון תחת אבל מטה תהילה תחת רוח קהל מוציא לנו מחילה לא רק בשעת הנעילה לך דומיה הגיע הזמן להתעורר, עזוב הכל להתגבר שוב הביתה, לא לחפש מקום אחר. הגיע הזמן להשתנות, ומי פספסנו תחנות, אפשר לרדת, יש רכבת, חזרה לשכונות. כל אפשר כי נרצה, לחפש תמיד מוצא, גם אם הוא נמצא, יש שם אחר בקצה. נתת שמיים לא ננעלו, כשהבן קורא הצילו, אבא שבשמיים מגיע אפילו שעשינו משהו רע, הוא בוחר ושמח, מושיט ידו לעזרה, ונותן ברחמיו את הכוח לתקן ולשוב אליו. הגיע הזמן להתחרט, ולברוח אז מלכת, ולקחת, אז לקחת בשביל לתת. זה הזמן להתקרב, לא לפחד מהכאב, ולתת אז כבר לתת, לגמור הלב. כל אפשר רק אם נרצה, לחפש תמיד רוצה, גם אם הוא נמצא אי שם אחר בוושינגטון, נתת שמיים לא ננעלו, כשהבן קורא הצילו, אבא שבשמיים מגיע אפילו שעשינו משהו רע, הוא בוחר ושמח, מושיט ידו לעזרה, ונותן ברחמיו את הכוח לתקן ולשוב. אפילו שעשינו משהו רע, הוא בוחר ושמח, מושיט ידו לעזרה, ונותן ברחמיו את הכוח לתקן ולשוב אליו. הגיע הזמן להתעורר, עזוב הכל להתגבר, להרוס את המזוודות, לשוב הביתה. תשיב בי את הרוח, תוריד ממני את הגשם, היה לי ים זמן לנוח, התרגעתי קצת בעצם, ובמרחב הפתוח רואים באופק את השמש, אין ספק אני בטוח.
Yeah, just to let you all know, when I'm not talking or anything, I'm still here. I'm monitoring some other stuff, trying to get some information in case there are counter protesters potentially coming to that area or near that area. So far, the Washington, D.C. Metro Police seem to be doing a pretty good job of securing the area, and we'll monitor that as it moves along. We are just getting started. The event itself doesn't officially start for another 14 minutes. The official event doesn't start till 1 o'clock. This is the pre-event, and thanks for clicking on.
גם לקבל את השחר לבן. מכל צירי הקשר ישנה אבות פרק ג' חביב אדם שנברא בצלם. הבטח לנו שערי ביטחון, שערי ניצחון, כי יהיה לנו מלך אלא השם ישמור אתכם. תודה על מה שאתם עושים, זה מחזק את כל העם בכל העולם. תודה רבה.
Again, thank you all for clicking on Watermelon Breezer. Thank you for being here. First time I've seen that name here.
Infiltrated the area in Israel known as Otef Aza, the southern communities along the Gaza border. This beautiful area is filled with kibbutzim and moshavim, and home to many that see living in this area as part of a larger peace and coexistence movement. On this typical Shabbat morning, when people were sleeping or out on an early morning jog, a nightmare unfolded. Hamas violence spared no one. Babies, toddlers, teens, the elderly, Holocaust survivors, and entire families brutally terrorized, murdered, and captured. Many are still unaccounted for. In the end, Hamas kidnapped an estimated 240 people, representing at least 25 nationalities, including 10 Americans. Don Alexander, a graduate of Tenafly High School in New Jersey, was kidnapped that day. He was a soldier in Otef Aza, and his mother had spoken to him just that morning. Here is a video of Edan that his family shared with us. Please turn your attention to the screens.
My son is only 19 years old. He just graduated last year from Tenafly High School. We live in Tenafly, New Jersey. His sister Mika is a senior now in the high school. We just know that he's alive and he's in Gaza, kept by Hamas.
You know that he is.
They told us that he's alive and he's over there at Gaza, and we're just hoping for him to come back home.
I want people to know that he's just such a happy and lively kid. He cares so much about family and his relationship with me and his our younger brother Roy. And he just will do anything for his friends and anything for his family. And he's just truly like my best friend. You know, I'm 17. He's only 2 years older than me. And I'm patiently waiting for the day that we're going to be reunited again.
Hey, I want to thank everybody again for clicking on Haru the Duke of the Great. This is a neutral site. We show everything we can of
With
importance
us today
from both
is
sides,
Mika Alexander,
and we just happen to be
Edan's
covering
youngest
this
sister.
march
Mika is 17 and goes to high school in New Jersey.
at the moment.
When her
And
brother
please
Edan
be
was
respectful
kidnapped, she was here
in the
in
chat,
the U.S.
and
Since
you're
that day,
free to
Mika and
express
her
your
family
opinions
have been doing everything they can
on either
to bring
whichever
Edan
side you
home.
may be on,
Mika
or
is here to share with
again,
us
we
what
stay
she and her
neutral
family are going
and
through,
just
and share
report
a
on
message
this.
with
And
all
it's
of you. Mika, thank
I
you
think
for
it's
coming
something
today.
sorely missing
What
in
can
our
you tell us about
journalism
Edan?
today.
How was
So
it growing up
I
as
do
his
thank
younger
you
sister?
for watching, and let's listen.
Growing up as Edan's younger sister, we've always seen how brave he was and how much he cherishes being with family. And when we were younger, we maybe weren't the closest, but as we got older, I started realizing how brave and extraordinary he was. And he always achieved what he wanted, and I will always look up to him till this day.
How did you respond when he told you he wanted to go to Garan Sabar and join the IDF?
I mean, we always knew that his heart was with Israel, and he just always wanted to do something meaningful before he, went to college like his other friends. So this wasn't really a big surprise to us that he wanted to do something for his country and for his family. And as a family, he always puts us first, and he values us so much, and he just appreciates and loves everyone around him, and it's truly inspirational.
I'm sure none of us can imagine what this last month has been for you. Mika, can you please share with us how you're holding up?
Honestly, I've learned how to be patient. Waking up every morning and not knowing what's going on with my brother, it really teaches you a lesson of learning how to stay in tune with yourself and listen to what you need and be able to go around and ask for help. Like, you shouldn't be scared. You should be okay with not being okay. And I learned how specifically to be extremely patient, and it's been paying off.
What would you tell him if you could send him a message right now?
I mean, of course, as you may know, I will tell him that we love him and we love you, and we just really need you to come back. And I know this reunion is gonna be insane. Like, talking about this whole experience is just gonna be it's gonna give me closure, me and the whole family. And yeah.
As we look out and see so many people gathered here today, what would you like to say to everyone?
I would just say thank you so much for coming here and supporting this campaign. And we just need to bring Edan and all of the other hostages home now.
Bring them home. Bring them home. Bring them home. Bring them home. Bring them home.
Okay, these three, the three young people you're seeing there, they've pretty much been the masters of ceremony
Bring them
throughout the
home.
beginning of this. Started about
Home, Israel,
10:30.
fly!
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, so I'm assuming this ends the pre-show, if you will, and the actual official rally starts at 1 o'clock. While we seem to have a little bit of a pause here, I want to share something else real quick. Let me get this popped up. This is I hit the wrong button. There we go. This is kind of representative of the world based upon United Nations vote. The countries in red support Israel, the United States, Micronesia, one of the African countries, Hungary. In yellow, you see votes that were abstained. They did not vote one way or the other. The green votes were in support of Palestine. Most notably, the B, Brazil, the R, Russia, the I, Iran, the C, China, and the S, South Africa. That's BRICS. That's the alliance that was formed primarily for economic purposes, under the guise of economic purposes. It was formed to deter the United States, basically, but to deter what is called the West and to deter NATO. Chris and I were going to talk about asymmetric politics last night, as well as asymmetric warfare. And we didn't get a chance to. Something happened. I'm not sure. We're not sure exactly what yet. But just as I was about to bring Chris on, everything went down. And I mean everything. I did get hit with a copyright strike from YouTube. However, YouTube was not responsible for taking the video down. The video is still up, the first few minutes of it anyway. But the point being, talking about asymmetrical politics is something I wanted to do last night. I'm going to touch on real quickly. And I'm going to point to Turkey. Turkey has become a staunch supporter of Palestine, thus siding with Russia. And Turkey is a NATO country and one of the United States' supposed allies in the area. We didn't expect Turkey to come out on the side of Israel. But that's asymmetrical politics. This is what you're seeing lining up here is not your normal, what you normally see out of the United Nations as far as alliances, if you will. This is basically, like I said, this is Micronesia over here. And I think this is Guinea. I'm not sure. Honduras and basically the United States. So it's basically United States and Israel against the Arab world and a lot of the rest of the world, if this does develop into a worldwide conflict. And this, along with what's going on in Russia and right here in Ukraine, the potential is there. So I wanted to get that out here before the official gathering starts, and it looks like they have not. Started yet. Okay. So hold on. Let me get back over there, and then I will hop over into the chat and say hello. Not going away. Yeah, I think that might have been part of it. I was told that if I was taken down by some, if I was taken down, that I'd probably get a claim of responsibility from someone. If it was a person, a hacker, so to speak. If it was a government entity, and it could be any government around the world, if that was the case, then there would be no claim of responsibility and probably no trace of anything that happened. My streaming software went down. Basically, all of my platforms went down at once, and it's just it's something that had never happened before, and it was right as I was getting ready to bring Chris on. So I don't know. I don't know if if they're trying to keep us quiet or not. I want to share something just real quick with you. Let me get it set up here so that. Okay, I'm gonna share something real quick with you. This is places that my channel gets restreamed to. A broadcast back in 2022 went out to 267,000 people, 44,000 people in 22, 19,000 or 17,000 in August of 2020, 15K back in February of this year. And the only reason I'm showing you that is because despite the numbers that you see on YouTube and the numbers that are public on YouTube and the numbers that actually viewing it that we see in the studio are often different, significantly different. Plus, because of, we kind of got off on the 1776 stuff there for a while, but generally the things we talk about are significant in many places around the world. So the channel gets restreamed, and we've been blocked out of Russia, we've been blocked out of North Korea, and we've been blocked out of China. And the stream is going back into at least one place in Russia. So yeah, normally, I mean, you'd think a channel that you see that only has 100 viewers, why would somebody want to take you down even if you are telling truth that they don't want? So I don't know. I don't know if they tried to take us. I mean, we were taken down. Not sure who did it. Hope it doesn't happen again. Hope it doesn't happen now. And hope it doesn't happen tomorrow night at 9. That's the next time Chris and I will be on. We'll be on tomorrow night, Wednesday night at 9. And I may make a change or two just in case there's AI involved or there are bots involved that are looking for specific things. So again, we'll be on tomorrow night at 9. And we're not missing anything at the March, just so you know. Nothing's going on there at the moment, and we will keep monitoring that. I guess here we go. We're going to officially get started. Let's see what's happening.
My Hebrew name is Tova Feldshuh, and my Starbucks name is Tova Feldshuh. What a thrill it is for me to be here. I've played big houses, but ain't never played anything like this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We stand here in the tens of thousands today, and usually, even if you have 10 Jews, you have 10,000 opinions. But today, in the thousands, we stand as one to say, Am Yisrael Chai. The people of Israel live. I stand here short. I was a runner for 40 years, but tall, for the almost 200 innocent citizens of Israel, well, almost 200 Israeli children of Israel who are now orphaned, for the 240 innocent citizens of Israel still held in captivity by Hamas. I stand here for the kidnapped babies and the Holocaust survivors abducted and hidden somewhere in Gaza. We stand here together as the yahrzeit candles for over 1,400 slaughtered in the sovereign state of Israel only because they were Jews. Sound familiar? We know that to lose a life is to lose a universe. And as we stand shoulder to shoulder, we transform thousands of our yahrzeit candles into one supernova of light and hope, illuminating the memories of those we have lost and shedding light on the murderers who brought them to their death. We stand here firm against global anti-Semitism. We stand here firm in confrontation of anti-Semitism here in these United States. We stand here to say enough. Maspek, maspik. Our hearts also go out to the Palestinian people who have been used by and suffered at the hands of Hamas to further Hamas's savage agenda. We are now engaged in a battle reaching beyond any Arab-Israeli conflict. We are engaged in a battle fighting for a civilized world. We stand here knowing that the halls of our universities should be havens of enlightenment and moral clarity and not places where Jewish students, Jewish faculty, or any minority feels outcast and afraid of being physically abused. We know college and university presidents, and a righteous one is here today from Dillard, but we know the college and university presidents, if you remain weak, if you remain silent, you are complicit. As Einstein said, the world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but by those who watch them and do nothing. However, since October 7th, amidst the darkness, we've seen glimmers of light. World landmarks lit up in blue and white from New York to Miami, from Paris to Prague and Baku, showing our beloved and brave Israel that she does not stand alone. As Golda Meir, the most important person I've ever had the honor to play, wow, I think Golda may be here today. As Prime Minister Golda Meir said, some people love you, and some people love you and show up. You show up, and that makes all the difference. Indeed, the people of Israel live. So breathe with me now and repeat with me 3 times. Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael Chai. Thank you. God bless you.
I want to say hello to Pink Flamingo and everyone in the chat, everyone watching wherever you may be watching. This is the
Please welcome
March for
Van
Israel.
Jones.
Van Jones.
You look beautiful. You look beautiful. Why am I here? Why am I here? I'm here because the horror and the terror that unfolded in Israel and Palestine have sent shockwaves far beyond their borders that affect and disrupt lives right here in the United States. Now, if you're not Jewish, you may not know this, But since October 7th, there has been literally an explosion of violence against Jewish people, attacks against Jewish people, horrific acts of hatred against Jewish people. The FBI says it's been unprecedented, 400% increase just in the past 3 weeks. If you don't know that, it's because your social media algorithm is not telling you that. And you might want to ask yourself why. But once you know, you cannot be silent. I don't want to be silent because the Jewish community stood with the civil rights movement. It stood with the civil rights movement. Walking arm in arm, facing death, going to jail. The Jewish community stood with the civil rights movement, and I cannot be silent when Jews fall under attack today. I just can't do it. And that's why I'm here. Now, whatever our different political beliefs and views are about what's happening overseas, you do not have to support all the policies of Israel to support and love and stand with all the people of Israel during a time of profound mourning. That's why I'm here. Now, like all of us, and as was just said, my heart breaks for all the Israeli children. My heart breaks for all the Palestinian children. And my heart breaks for all of the Jewish American children who are now also living in fear. I pray that every single hostage is released. I pray that. Bring them home. And I also pray that Hamas ends its reign of terror. I pray that. And I have to say, I'm a peace guy. I pray for peace. No more rockets from Gaza and no more bombs falling down on the people of Gaza. God protect the children. Let's end all the horror and all the heartbreak in the Holy Land. Let's end all of it. But I'll be honest in closing. When I think about what's happening over there, I don't feel powerful to do something about what's happening over there. What I do feel powerful is to maybe do something about what's happening here. Let's take a stand here against anti-Jewish bigotry. Let's take a stand against Muslims. Let's take a stand here against hatred. Let's take a stand here against hatred of all kinds. I don't want any Jewish mother to be afraid here to drop her baby off at the JCC. I don't want that. I don't want any Jewish son to be afraid to leave his dorm room and go to the Hillel Center for a meal. I don't want that. And I don't want any rabbi tonight to have to go and buy an extra can of white paint just to be able to paint over a swastika on a synagogue tomorrow morning here in the United States. I don't want that. And I definitely don't want any Jewish daughter, which I just learned, to change her name in her rideshare app because she's afraid for her driver to know that she is Jewish. That should not be happening here. So, no matter what happens anyplace else, we can do better here. No more horror there. No more hatred here. You are not alone. Thank you very much.
Again, thank you all for clicking on. We are about 15 minutes into the official March for Israel event. Always Be Kind says they're doing that in cemeteries. They're painting swastikas on. When this is all, even now, there is no moral high ground. Give the national anthem. By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the Great rendition to the song. Hello, JFK. Again, this is a neutral channel. You can support who you want. Just be respectful. Thank you.
Please welcome Omer Adam.
Thank you very much. Natan Sharansky has fought heroically, alone, under tremendous pressure, as a proud Jew, as a freedom lover person, as a man with a mission.
They came from everywhere, thousands of Jews and non-Jews. They streamed into Washington with but one common agenda.
No, we would not be silent. History will judge. If the world had enough will and resolve to do what you are doing today, to stand up, to be counted, and to make your voices be heard.
Please welcome Natan Sharansky.
Dear family, when small group of Soviet Jews started to fight to move to Israel, they challenged the most powerful empire, the most cruel dictatorship of those days. And that's why many people thought that their struggle, our struggle, is doomed. How can few men and women bring down the empire on their own? But the fact is that we never thought that we are alone. We knew the Jewish people and the state of Israel is with us. From the small demonstration initiated by 4 students in Columbia University in 1964 to the massive rally of 250,000 Jews just here in this place in '87, there were 3 generations of world Jewry who fought for our freedom. Many of your grandfathers fought for our freedom. Many of your parents fought for our freedom. Many of you fought for our freedom. And that's what made all the change. So, when in the long years in prison, I was told again and again that I'm alone, that I'm abandoned, that we failed. It was enough for me simply to remember all those faces of Jews from America, from Britain, from Canada, who were coming to us, to Moscow, to support us, to understand that KGB is lying. Because you were bringing so much love and so much strength to us. This picture of one Jewish fighting family was always in my head. And that is why it was so clear that whatever will be my personal fate, the outcome of our struggle can be only our victory. This clearness that as long as we all stand together and fight together, we will win, is that what gives us hope today in Israel. Because we in Israel go through difficult days. We go from one funeral of the soldier who fell fighting against Hamas yesterday, and another funeral of the family who was tortured and killed 5 weeks ago, but was identified only now. And in between, you go to the family whose children were kidnapped, became hostages. And wherever you go, you hear more and more stories about torture and murder. How you keep going? You keep going by doing it together. When our brave soldiers, real brave soldiers, are fighting, knowing very well that they fight for the future of Israel and Jewish people. When all our country, in solidarity, in mobilization, in devotion, is embracing them, we know we again are one fighting family. Family which is so strong, which is has so much love. And you know that there is only one outcome in this battle, our victory. But then we find out that there is another front in this war. And it's not in the tunnels of Gaza, not on the hills of Galilee, but in Harvard, in Yale, in Penn, in Columbia, in all those places who are supposed to be the bastions of enlightenment and wisdom. And from these places we hear today the gleeful cheers of those who watch this most barbaric, awful pogrom in modern history and say, that is liberation movement. They speak about democracy and they are ready to give away on the most and the only democratic country in the Middle East. They speak about justice, and they are ready to welcome the killers of babies. They speak about feminism, and they are ready to welcome rapists of our girls. And, dear friends, be together, we'll fight against those who try to give legitimacy to Hamas. We'll fight for Israel. We'll fight for every Jew. We'll fight against anti-Semitism. We'll fight for the values and against corruption of those values which are in the center of our Jewish identity and American identity. And now look at those tens of thousands of students who came from Harvard and Yale and New York University and Penn and other places. You're not frightened, you're not silenced. Together we'll win because we are one Jewish family. We defeated Soviet Union, we'll defeat our enemies today. And now I want to introduce two of these younger voices of modern fighting family. Michael Biton and Ariel Baftar Zadeh. Please.
Ago, my family and tens of thousands of Iranian Jews were forced to flee from the country they had called home for generations. In a moment's notice, their world turned upside down. Jewish leaders were falsely accused of espionage and executed in public squares. Jewish schools were targeted and closed. And Jewish families were forced to forfeit their homes and their businesses. 44 years ago, the Islamic Republic waged its war of terror and intimidation against the Iranian Jewish community. On October 7th, they waged that war against the international Jewish community. In the wake of the revolution, my family made the choiceless choice to leave behind everything they knew in pursuit of everything they dreamt could be. That I am standing here before you all today is beyond my parents' wildest dreams. It is also a manifestation of their greatest nightmare, that we still live in a world where Jews can be butchered in broad daylight as the world watches in silence. But my story is not unique. Our stories as Americans and as Jews may be written in different languages, but their arcs are one and the same. Our ancestors risked everything to reestablish themselves in America, a country they dreamed would be free of Jew hatred. Unfortunately, that dream has not yet been realized. However, one thing has changed. We no longer have to make the choiceless choice that our parents and grandparents did. We will not retreat or flee. Their sacrifice demands so much more of us. Thanks to this great nation, we don't have to resort to flight. We can fight with our voices, our votes, and our feet. And we will, because we know that the future of our country and the future of our people are inextricably intertwined. God bless America, and Am Yisrael Chai.
Thank you, everybody, for clicking on. I'll hop in here for just a second, let you know that I've been monitoring things, and there does not appear to be any sizable counter protests in the wake or in the offering to be coming. However, the importance, significance of this, and
I'm proud American to represent all those who know oppression. I represent my Argentinian community, still haunted by the AMIA bomb that tore us apart, that killed my best friend's father. Its terrorists never brought to justice. I represent my parents-in-law, Egyptian Jews who fled Nasser's persecution in Egypt as stateless refugees and built new lives here. I represent my Brooklyn neighbors, Syrian Jews who were held as virtual prisoners in Aleppo and in Damascus, stuck for decades behind an iron curtain of hate. I stand here for all of us who remember that in every generation they stand up against us to destroy us, and for all of us who thank God that America and Israel changed the world and became our safe havens. We stand here united, proud, as Americans who are going to fight back against terror, who will fight back against anti-Semitism everywhere, in our streets and in our universities. We stand here in support of Israelis whose fathers and mothers and brothers and sisters and sons and daughters and friends were murdered or taken captive. We stand here in support of our Israeli nation who has stood up like a nation of lions. have dreamed of, here in this promised land that requires each and every one of us to pursue and expand freedom with all of our might. I stand here as a Jewish woman bearing 4,000 years of history from Abraham to my 4-year-old daughter. Proud of our people who will never ever give up hope. Proud of our people who will always seek to partner with others to heal our fractured world. I stand here as an immigrant to this country that I love and call my own, ready to join with anybody who has tasted the opposite of freedom and breathe new life into our great American dream. This is our calling. Our time is now. Our work is urgent. So let us fight with everything we have, with our voices, with our feet, with our votes, with our prayers. Let us fight together against hatred and for life. May the one above bless us with the courage and the strength to write a new chapter of peace and freedom in this nation, in Israel, and around the entire world.
Please welcome the chair of the Board of Trustees of the Jewish Federations of North America, Julie Platt.
I just want to say hello, everybody. So far, no reports of significant, no significant counter protests at this time that I'm aware of, and we're monitoring it. That's why I'm not on here all the time. I'm going from channel to channel, finding out what I can find out. This is a tier 1 event as far as Department of Homeland Security is concerned, as far as potential for incidents. Isaac Herzog, the president of Israel, is going to be one of the speakers today, and I imagine he's going to be speaking on the screen from Israel. But if he is there live, that will be a time that they want to disrupt this event. And this is, as we just heard the last speaker say, America is viewed as a haven, and those that are in opposition to Israel have said the war will come to America. If they're going to bring the war to America, this event would be a tempting time to do so. So we watch with that in mind.
Friend and our collective hero. We know him, we trust him, we admire him, and we are filled with gratitude for his strong leadership. Friends, joining us live from the eternal capital of the state of Israel, Jerusalem, please welcome the President of Israel, Isaac Herzog.
Yep. Okay, how's that for a little bit of
thank you, Julie.
procrastination?
Shalom, friends, sisters and brothers, achyotai ve'echai. I am speaking to you from the single most sacred site in the Jewish world, the Kotel, the Western Wall in Jerusalem. The Kotel that reminds us that Am Israel, we, the people of Israel, are eternal and no one will break us. From the Jewish symbol of fulfillment of our ancient dreams to the American symbols of freedom, liberty, and democracy. Thank you. Thank you, the hundreds of thousands who've gathered from all over the United States, all people of goodwill, friends from different communities, faiths, and denominations who've gathered today for this massive show of solidarity. In the state of Israel's darkest moment, you stood up and declared, Hineni, I am here. We are here. There's no greater and more just cause than this. Today, we come together as a family, one big mishpacha, to march for Israel, to march for the babies, the boys and girls, women and men viciously held hostage by Hamas, to march for the right of every Jew to live proudly and safely in America, in Israel, and all around the world. Above all, we come together to march for good over evil, for human morality over bloodthirst. We march for light over darkness. "80 years ago, Jews came out of Auschwitz and vowed never again. As the blue and white flag was hoisted over our ancient homeland, we vowed never again. 40 days ago, a terrorist army invaded the sovereign state of Israel and butchered hundreds upon hundreds of Israelis in the largest massacre since the Holocaust. Let us cry out together, never again, never again, never again is now. The Hamas savagery and crimes against humanity bring to my mind, as President Biden has said, the worst rampages of ISIS. We, the people of Israel, are grateful to President Biden, his administration, and so many members of Congress on both sides of the aisle. The moral clarity and bold actions of our American allies demonstrate the depth of the U.S.-Israel alliance, which is stronger than ever before. Since October 7th, Israeli society and the Jewish people have truly come together in unison. We feel our hearts beat as one. We hear our brothers and sisters' blood crying out to us from the ground, Kol dmei achicha, tzoakim elai min ha'adama. Once again in Jewish history, we demand, let our people go. Whilst our loved ones are held captive in Gaza, and our soldiers are fighting for our beloved Israel, Jews all over the world are assaulted for being Jewish. The hatred, the lies, the brutality, the disgraceful outbursts of ancient anti-Semitism are an embarrassment to all civilized people and nations. Jews in America must be safe. Jews all over the world must be safe. I salute you, the women and men who stand up to massive hatred and pressure in the community or on campus. Just as you stand with us, we stand with you. Dear brothers and sisters, dear friends, as President of the State of Israel, Medinat Israel, I vow to you from Jerusalem, from the Kotel, that we will heal, we will rise again, and we will rebuild. To paraphrase the prophet Zechariah,
boys and girls shall once again play in the streets of Be'eri and Sderot, and the elderly shall sit peacefully by the walkways of Nachal Oz and Ofakim. And when the sounds of life and laughter return to the villages, the kibbutzim, and the cities, our constant yearning for peace will return as well. Together we pray for the safe return of our hostages. Together we pray for the full recovery of the wounded. And together we pray for our beloved sons and daughters in the IDF. May God bless them and keep them. HaKadosh Baruch Hu yishmor v'yatzil et chayaleinu. Together we grieve and together we shall overcome. Am Yisrael Chai. God bless Israel. God bless America.
Please join Cantor Chaim Burson from New York in the prayer for the IDF.
אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, הוא יברך את חיילי צבא ההגנה לישראל, הוא יברך את חיילי הגנה לישראל, הוא יברך את חיילי צבא הגנה לישראל, העומדים על משמר ארצנו וערי אלוהינו, מגבול הלבנון ועד מדבר מצרים, ומן הים הגדול עד לבוא הערבה, ביבשה את אויבינו הקמים עלינו ניגפים לפניהם, הקדוש ברוך הוא ישמור ויציל את חיילינו מכל צרה וצוקה, מכל נגע ומחלה. Together. וישלח ברכה והצלחה בכל לכם עם אויביכם להושיע אתכם ונאמר
Please welcome the chair of the Conference of Presidents, Harriet Schleifer.
Again, thank you for clicking on. If you're unfamiliar with temple in the Jewish faith, the prayers are always sung.
Before I introduce our next speaker, I want to welcome the ambassadors from Cyprus, Greece, Guatemala, Jamaica, and North Macedonia, along with Ambassador Gilad Erdan from Israel. Welcome. As the daughter of two Holocaust survivors, I march for Israel. As a Jew, and together with you, people of goodwill and moral clarity, we march against anti-Semitism. And as a mother and ordinary citizen, I march, we march, for the hostages to be freed. Bring them home. Bring them home. Bring them home. We stand here in a city often divided along partisan lines, but not when it comes to Israel. Democrats and Republicans alike are standing up and speaking out, decrying anti-Semitism, demanding an end to Hamas's reign of terror, and supporting the Israeli people as they seek peace, justice, and the safe return of our hostages.
I'm going to address a couple of questions coming up here in a moment.
We'll hear from congressional leaders in both parties.
The Speaker of the House is going to be there.
Show their support. They are true friends of Israel. And we have another true friend of Israel living up at the other end of Pennsylvania Avenue.
Biden will not be there today.
President Joe Biden has been a steadfast ally and champion of our shared values. The president's visit of condolence and friendship to Israel after October 7th moved Israelis to the core. We are grateful for his leadership. And now I am honored to introduce his special envoy to monitor and combat anti-Semitism, the wonderful Ambassador Deborah Lipstadt.
People have asked, why this is supposed to be a march. Why aren't they marching? The way I understand it, they're not marching for security reasons. A march would be much harder to police, if you will. They instead are having a rally, despite it being called a march. Will there be an actual march after the speeches? We will see. And the other thing that I wanted to address, I got sent a message saying, are you watching this just so in hopes that something's going to happen? No, absolutely not. I'm watching, we are monitoring this in hopes that absolutely nothing happens, but because there is such a propensity for something to possibly happen because of the significance of the gathering and the significance of those in attendance and those speaking, and we will get back to that right now.
Groups that agree on nothing else, agree on their suspicion and hatred of Jews. And if we needed any reminder about the validity of that claim, the past 5 weeks have made it plain. So today, as a representative of President Biden and Vice President Harris and the United States government, I can tell you without hesitation, regardless of party or political persuasion, at the White House or in the Congress, at home and abroad, this government stands shoulder to shoulder against Jew hatred. We stand arm in arm to combat anti-Semitism wherever it hides or attempts to reside. We echo our founding father unequivocally and unreservedly. Today in America, we give anti-Semitism no sanction, no foothold, no tolerance. Not on campus, not in grade school, not in our neighborhoods, not in our streets of our cities, not in our government, nowhere, not now, not ever. The reason is simple. Anti-Semitism is wrong. It is hateful. It is an immediate threat to Jews everywhere, and that alone would be sufficient reason to combat it. But anti-Semitism is far more than just that. It is an affront to the integrity of our laws. It is a gateway to prejudice, racism, injustice of every form. It is a direct danger to our democracy. And we, the United States government, will fight it. Full stop. I have the honor and responsibility to travel the world, to wage this fight in foreign lands. And in the past 5 weeks, I have visited many of our major European allies. And the message I deliver and the message I hear everywhere is unmistakable. No sanction for anti-Semitism. When Holocaust memorials are vandalized in Canada, France, Greece, Denmark, or the United States, when Molotov cocktails are thrown at synagogues in Berlin and Montreal, when Jews peacefully protesting are physically or verbally intimidated, when Jewish children are harassed, when protesters chant, "Gas the Jews," when Jewish stars are painted on buildings housing Jews, that is not expressing support for Palestinian rights. That is Jew hatred, pure and simple. We must not be blind to the hate implicit in the widespread celebrations of Hamas's October 7th killing spree. When protesters chant, "Peace and glory to the martyrs," that incites more hatred, more deaths. It is a danger to the values and underpinning of the stability and decency of any society anywhere in the world. Hate is not a zero-sum game. Hate and violence directed at any member of our society because of who they are is un-American and wrong.
I'm sorry, but I also have video of plenty of Israelis chanting "Death to the Arabs."
Are acting
Just
to
saying.
counter it. Our major European allies have deployed legions of police officers to protect Jewish institutions. But there are some countries that are spreading and fostering hatred of Jews. The world must unite to condemn and combat it. Today, gathered before me on this mall are people of all faiths, beliefs, identities, and backgrounds. You are united by your abhorrence of Jew hatred and your recognition of its lethal nature. We are grateful for the myriad of law enforcement personnel who protect us, and please remember to thank them. But the fact is that no group of Americans should have to live that way. They should live free, in need of no protection, unflinching and unafraid. Let me be clear. Do not sink to the level of those who harass you. Do not tear down posters. Do not intimidate those who disagree with you. Do not block their path or taunt them as they do to you. But do not cower. Allow no one to make you afraid. The message is built into the Jewish people's most ancient history. Jews are strongest at their broken places. Know that this nation's leaders are determined to oppose anti-Semitism at every turn. They are by your side now and long into the future. The fight will be a long one, but Jews have faced such challenges before and have overcome them. You who hate this evil will prevail because this cause has justice wholly on its side. The fight will be won because there is no other option. And because, as President Washington reassured the Jews of Newport, this nation gives bigotry no sanction. And 230 years later, that still holds true. Chazak ve'ematz. Chazak ve'ematz, be strong and of good courage. Thank you for that strength. Thank you for that courage. Thank you.
Please welcome back to the stage Harriet Schleifer and Julie Platt.
Because she's obviously protected probably 24/7. But
We are pleased to welcome to the stage the bipartisan, bicameral leadership from the United States Senate and House of Representatives.
From the United States Senate, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. From the House of Representatives, Speaker of the House Mike Johnson.
From the House of Representatives, Democratic Leader Hakeem Jeffries. And representing the Senate Republican leadership, Senator Joni Ernst.
no Mitch McConnell.
Thank you, everybody.
Well,
we are here united,
we'll see how the bipartisan
Democrat
thing goes.
and Republican, House and Senate, to say we stand with Israel. We stand with Israel. We stand. We stand. We stand. We stand. We stand. Now, my friends, there are no words for the horror that happened 1 month ago in Israel. The most Jews killed in a single day since the Holocaust. It brings back much darker days. And let us not forget history. History shows that when the world ignored anti-Semitism in the last century, it led to the worst catastrophe in human history. 6 million Jews murdered in the Holocaust. Let us not forget history. History shows that Israel was almost destroyed in 1967, and in 1973. We cannot, we must not let that happen again. Let us not forget history. History shows that anti-Semitism has been deep in the core of Europe for centuries, and that too many European nations have never been friends of Israel. And history shows that when anti-Semitism rears its ugly head, if it's not dealt with forcefully and directly, it grows into a deadly force. But my friends, history reminds us also of one thing, that even in its darkest days, the United States has always stood with Israel, and we will do everything to see that that never, ever changes.
I do have one question.
USA, USA, USA.
Wow.
We are with Israel. Let us not forget, my friends, the evils of Hamas. When Hamas says from the river to the sea, they mean all of present-day Israel should be a Jewish free land. In fact, Hamas has said that what they did, the horror that they did on October 7th to the Jewish communities near the Gaza border, they should do to all Israelis. Just look at Hamas's founding document. It says, is that a Jew behind the tree? Cut down the tree so you can shoot him. That is the evil of Hamas. Never, never, never will we forget the evil of Hamas.
The danger is becoming that which you
Never
hate.
again, never again, never again, never again. Now, my friends, the hostages, some of whose families are here. I hear there are parents here whose little 3-year-old girl was kidnapped by the evil Hamas. When I went to Israel a few weeks ago, right after the 7th, I met with the families of those being held, with 5 senators, Democrat and Republican. I heard of parents whose little babies were taken. I heard of brothers whose sisters were killed. I heard horrible stories about the brutality of Hamas, and the 5 of us, Democratic and Republican senators, wept and cried for a whole hour. The sadness was so great, the evil so horrible. We will continue fighting for the release of all hostages till they return to safety. Let them go. Let them go. Bring them home. Bring them home. Bring them home. Like so many Jewish people, the horrors of October 7th reminded me of what happened to my ancestors in Western Ukraine when the Nazis invaded. So the minute I heard of what happened in January 7th, I knew I had to go to Israel. As the first-ranking Jewish Senate Majority Leader, in fact, the highest-ranking Jewish elected official in American history.
Don't break your arm patting yourself on the back.
I not only had a desire to go to Israel, I felt a special obligation to go. When I got off the plane, Israel was still shaken from what happened. I said to the Israeli people, Israel, we in America have your back. America feels your pain. We ache with you. We stand with you. And we will not rest until you get all the assistance you need.
That was my question.
We will not rest until you get the assistance you need.
Why does Israel need assistance
My
with
friends,
Hamas?
in conclusion,
if it was a bigger
Hamas's
thing, yeah,
goal
but to beat
was
Hamas,
to scare us. Those perpetrating the poison of anti-Semitism and bigotry around the world are trying to scare us. But we will not allow history to slide back to the days of the Holocaust when Jews were targeted and murdered and butchered. Instead, the Jewish people will be resilient. And today, all of you are here showing we will not hide in the face of adversity. In America and in Israel, Am Yisrael Chai. 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 The people Israel here in America and in Israel, the Jewish people will live forever.
Okay, my thing is, why do we have to send them emergency funding? I heard the head of the Israeli Air Force said they haven't even used 10% of their Air Force.
It is so good to be with you
supplies
all. What an extraordinary
Gaza,
crowd. And it was
they could do the
organized
same
in
thing
just
to
a few
Beirut.
days. It's amazing. Amazing.
Is there really a need for
There are
emergency
few
funding?
issues
That's
in Washington
my
that could so
question.
easily
Nobody's
bring
asking
together
it. It's
leaders
just
of
a
both
matter of,
parties and
we
both
gotta fund
chambers.
this.
But the survival of the
Why?
state of Israel and her people unites us together, and it unites all Americans. All Americans. Let me be very clear. The United States stands unequivocally with our neighbor, our friend, our ally, Israel. They're neighbors in a global sense, that's right.
I'm going to say they're not really neighbors, dude. Come on, man.
Last
you
week,
guys
a bipartisan group of members stood in solidarity on the steps of the House to mourn the lives in the October 7th attack and to grieve with the families of Israeli hostages that are still being held in Gaza. We heard heartbreaking and tragic accounts of their kidnappings. And of course, as you know, many of those families haven't received an update on their well-being since that day. As a parent myself, I can begin to comprehend their despair. All of us feel that way. This morning, we watched the horrific film that was produced by Hamas from their own cameras as they committed the assault. It's unspeakable. The auditorium was full of Republicans and Democrats in the House, and they wept as we watched the film together. Most couldn't sit through it. These Israeli hostages were kidnapped in their homes by barbaric Hamas terrorists for simply being Jewish and living in Israel. As Prime Minister Netanyahu says so well, this is a fight between good and evil, between light and darkness, between civilization and barbarism. The calls for a ceasefire are outrageous. We stand with you in that. Hamas terrorists waged the bloodiest assault on Jewish lives since the Holocaust, and there are hundreds of hostages, many of them Americans, still stuck inside Gaza. Israel will cease their counteroffensive when Hamas ceases to be a threat to the Jewish state. But Hamas's genocidal and anti-Semitic rhetoric isn't just confined to Gaza, as you know. The war in Israel has awakened an alarming amount of anti-Semitism towards Jewish people here in the United States and across the globe. From the halls of Congress to college campuses, this rise of anti-Semitism must be stopped. We've heard many echo the Hamas rallying cry of "from the river to the sea," and I'm convinced that a lot of these college students that are engaging in these protests do not understand that is an explicit call for the extermination of Israel. It is happening daily in our country, as you know, and it is unacceptable for Jewish Americans to feel unsafe at home. It is unacceptable for Jewish businesses to face violence, vandalism, and threats. It is unacceptable for universities to allow Hamas apologists to assault and accost Jewish students on campus. It is unacceptable for any political leader in this nation to give credence to this dangerous rhetoric. We can and we must do more to stand with our great ally and friend. And it is my hope that this gathering today serves as a reminder to the entire world, but also to those within our own borders, that the United States stands proudly with Israel and the Jewish people forever, forever. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of this. God bless you.
Leader Schumer, Speaker Johnson, Senator Ernst, all those assembled, shalom. What an honor and a blessing to stand with you in solidarity during this very difficult moment for the Jewish people and for Israel. Hamas brutally attacked Israel on October 7th because Hamas wants to wipe Israel off the Congress will continue to support.
That was not me. That was not an accident. We got cut off there for a second. I think we're back.
Israel's unequivocal right to exist as a Jewish and democratic state, always and forever. Always and forever. Always and forever. From the very beginning of this conflict, President Joe Biden has strongly supported the state of Israel. And I strongly support President Biden's supplemental funding request for Israel, for Ukraine, and for humanitarian assistance.
I get it with Ukraine, but the question needs to be asked. Israel's got such a mighty military. We know that.
The cancer of anti-Semitism
Why do they need our
with the
immediately?
fierce urgency of now. An attack on any of us is an attack on all of us. And we are going to do everything possible to stop the anti-Semitic attacks against our Jewish brothers and sisters. The United States and Israel have a special relationship. Our commitment to Israel's security is ironclad. And let me be clear, Israel has an absolute right to defend itself against Hamas terror. There's a question on the minds of many of us. Where do we go from here? We must stand with Israel in its effort to decisively defeat Hamas and make sure that this brutal terrorist regime can never rise again. We must make sure
as Chris
that
and I've said
every
many
single
times,
hostage is
Hamas
returned
is a
home
philosophy,
safely.
and you're not going to kill the philosophy.
And then we must stand together
you might create
to secure
two
a just and lasting
new
peace
fighters for everyone
between
you kill.
Israel
That's just
and
reality.
the Palestinian people. The special relationship between the United States and Israel is, yes, rooted in our shared values and our shared strategic interests. But the moral case for Israel is anchored in the painful history of the Jewish people. For centuries, Jews have been persecuted, brutalized by anti-Semitism, and violently thrown out of country after country. The Jewish people were violently expelled from Jerusalem by the Roman Empire. The Jewish people were violently expelled from Alexandria. The Jewish people were violently expelled from France. The Jewish people were violently expelled from England. The Jewish people were violently expelled from Spain. The Jewish people were violently expelled from Switzerland. The Jewish people were violently expelled from Portugal. The Jewish people were violently expelled from countries all throughout Europe. The Jewish people were violently expelled from the Middle East. The Jewish people were systematically murdered by the Nazi regime. The Jewish people were violently attacked by Hamas on October 7th, resulting in the largest loss of Jewish life in a single day since the Holocaust. So we are here, more than 100,000 people strong, to unequivocally declare never again. Never again. Never again. The state of Israel must always exist as a safe haven for the Jewish people. And so we stand together with the Jewish community in Israel. We stand together with the Jewish community in America. We stand together with the Jewish community all throughout the world. We stand together in the effort to crush anti-Semitism. We stand together in the effort to crush anti-Jewish hate. We stand together in the effort to bring home the hostages. We stand together in the effort to make sure that America will always be a safe space for the Jewish community in every single zip code. God bless the hostages. God bless Israel. God bless the United States of America.
United States of America, do you stand with Israel? Folks, I am here today as a longtime friend and staunch supporter of our greatest partner in the Middle East, Israel. In December 2014, before I was even sworn in to the United States Senate, I visited Kibbutz Nir Oz in southern Israel by the Gaza border, one of the kibbutzim that was hit the hardest by Hamas on October 7th. Israel and her people hold a very special place in my heart. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here to show your unwavering support for our Jewish brothers and sisters. What Iran-backed Hamas perpetrated on October 7th was pure evil, and those monsters deserve nothing short of complete and total destruction. 3 days after the heinous terror attacks, I was on the ground in Israel, meeting with American and Israeli families and sitting across the table from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, as well as opposition leader Lapid. We heard from a father who rushed over from the funeral of his son's 18-year-old best friend, who had just been brutally murdered at the hands of Hamas. We spoke with the family of an 80-year-old father of 5, a peace activist who drove Palestinian children to doctor's appointments, who was kidnapped from his home during the invasion. With tears in their eyes, his family recounted the inhumanity of the attack, the destruction of their home, and ultimately the death of their brother while he was valiantly defending their home and family. In every meeting, the message was abundantly clear. Do not let the United States cower when the world starts to. Stand steadfastly in your solidarity. So we are here today as Republicans and as Democrats to assure you we will not shrink back and shudder in fear, as we will not shudder in fear as too many around the world already have. We will not sit quiet as anti-Semitism is being promulgated in classrooms and campuses around the country. The brutal reality of Hamas cannot be diminished. They murder babies. They rape women. They abuse the elderly. They killed 30 of our fellow Americans, hundreds of our Israeli friends, and are currently, right now, holding 200 innocent men, women, and children hostage. How anyone in America could sympathize with these terrorists is truly unfathomable. Friends, there should not be a shred of anti-Semitism in our country. Not now, not ever. Not only today, but in the coming weeks and months, as Israel fights to secure their most basic human right, the right to life, the United States must remain resolute. In the Senate, we will continue to stand shoulder to shoulder with all of you, our Jewish friends in Israel, the United States, and around the world. May God be with those who have lost a loved one, those who are waiting on the phone for an update about a son or daughter, those who are facing unprecedented harassment and hostility, and those whose family members bravely serving in the Middle East. And may God bless Israel. God bless Israel as she rightly defends herself against Hamas's brutal attacks. Israel, the United States will always have your back.
We stand with Israel. We stand with Israel. We stand with Israel. We stand with Israel. We stand with Israel.
Okay, there we go. Bipartisan effort from Republican senator, Democrat senator, Republican House member, Democrat House member. So far, no disruptions. Chris pointed out in a message earlier, I'm sure the preparations for security are such that it would be unwise to try something here. But other times, if it is coming here, we'll talk about it tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. Chris will be joining me at 9 tomorrow night. We'll have our world situation report.
Please welcome Ishai Rebo.
And we will continue monitoring here to see if there is a march indeed after the...
צהריים טובים, קהל יקר ואהוב. אנחנו ממש מרגישים זכות להיות כאן היום איתכם. זו הזדמנות גם לומר תודה לתמיכה הגדולה של ארצות הברית שמאפשרים את המעמד האדיר הזה. לא מובן מאליו. היום זה ראש חודש כסלו, ובראש חודש כסלו אנחנו יודעים שזה החודש שבו האור גבר על החושך. ועכשיו אני רואה מול העיניים שלי אור אין סוף. יש פה מלא אור, והוא ודאי יגבר על החושך הזה שחווינו בשבת הקשה הזאת. אבל מאז התגלה בעם שלנו בתוך הכאב ובתוך השבר התגלו עוצמות אדירות של אהבה, של נתינה, של חסד, של עין טובה. כל הפילוג שהיה נעלם והפכנו להיות לב אחד. והיום אנחנו כאן במעמד מאות אלפי יהודים ותומכים את הבמה הזאת איתכם ולומר פרק תהילים שכתב דוד המלך ככה בכוונה גדולה שיהיה לי זכות עם ישראל, שיהיה לי זכות חיילי צה"ל, שיהיה לי זכות הילדים, הילדות והמשפחות שנמצאות שם בשבי, שיחזרו בריאים בגופם ובנפשם. ושיהיה לי זכות הביחד הזה, כמו שכתוב, שהיה במעמד הר סיני, שזה לדעתי הכי קרוב למעמד הר סיני בכמות, שנזכה להיות כאיש אחד בלב אחד לנצח. אז נגיד פסוק ואתם תחזרו אחריי. שיר המעלות אשא עיניי אל ההרים, מאין יבוא עזרי. עזרי מעם אדוני עושה שמיים וארץ. אל יתן למוט רגליך, אל ינום שומרך. הנה לא ינום ולא ישן שומר ישראל. אדוני שומרך, אדוני צילך על יד ימינך. יומם השמש לא יככה וירח בלילה. אדוני ישמורך מכל רע, ישמור את נפשך. אדוני ישמור צאתך ובואך מעתה ועד עולם. שיר למעלות אשא עיניי אל ההרים, מאין יבוא עזרי. עזרי מעם אשר עושה שמיים וארץ. אל יתן למוט רגליך, אל ינום שומרך. הנה לא ינום ולא ישן שומר ישראל. השם שומרך, השם צילך על יד ימינך. יומם השמש לא יככה וירח בלילה. השם ישמורך מכל רע, ישמור את נפשך. השם ישמור צאתך ובואך מעתה ועד עולם. מעתה עוד אחד. מעתה ועד
Please welcome Deborah Messing.
Shalom, friends.
Shalom!
I love you too. I know you are in pain. I know you are afraid. I know you feel alone and abandoned by people you thought were your friends. I know you feel misunderstood and maligned. I know because I do too. But looking out at all of us today, we also know that we are not alone because we have each other. We are all being tested. A tsunami of hate has crashed down upon us, and then a deafening silence. We see clearly now. We see naked, virulent Jew hatred being disguised as a noble call for liberation, and we reject it. What does Israel's defense in response to a terrorist attack have to do with an elderly Jewish man in California killed for holding an Israeli flag? This is madness. This is terrorism. But we will win. We always have. We are strong, resilient, and devoted, and we will not lose ourselves. We will worry for our global Jewish family and also hurt for the innocent Palestinians used as human shields by Hamas. We will work to eviscerate Hamas and also pray for a free and flourishing Gaza. We will remember and work for the release of the 240 hostages, as well as for the safety of the 2.2 million Gazans also held hostage by Hamas. We will pray for the success of the IDF in a war Israel did not start and did not want, but a war Israel will win. Because we must. Those who hate us deny our humanity and our right to exist. No matter. We know who we are. We know that especially in darkness, we stand united, proud, resolute, with absolute moral certitude in our light. Like our ancestors, who for 3,000 years looked hate straight in the eyes, we too will prevail. We will take care of each other. We will take care of our brothers and sisters in Israel. We will fight and we will love ferociously. Our light will shine until the darkness is defeated. Am Yisrael Chai.
Deborah, you're being played off. When the music starts, you're supposed to exit stage left. The thing I want everybody to remember is all the voices you're hearing saying they're going to fight, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. Keep in mind, the biggest thing they're probably going to do is say the words. Just, something to think about.
It has been 38 days since the 240 hostages were taken. mothers, brothers, babies, grandmothers. We cannot allow the world to move on. We must not rest until these families are made whole. We have a number of them here with us today. In solidarity with them, I'd like to ask you to hold up your placards, their faces, for a moment of silence. Thank you. I now have the honor of introducing 3 family members of hostages, Orna Nutra, Ilana Zaitchik, and Rachel Goldberg. May their courage and strength inspire us all.
Good afternoon. My name is Orna Nutra, and I am Omer's mom. Omer, born 1 month after 9/11, celebrated his 22nd birthday only a few weeks ago, captive by Hamas. Omer is a warm, optimistic, and people-loving person. Everywhere he goes, he immediately makes new friends. He is this big guy, 6'2", always with a smile on his face. In some ways, Omer grew up like any other kid on Long Island. He is truly a member of this wonderful Jewish community. He's crazy about sports, any sports, but he especially loves basketball. He was always a leader, whether the captain of his high school, the Schechter School of Long Island, or the regional president of his youth group, USY. He is also a dual citizen of both the United States and Israel, and was raised with a love and a passion for both of his homelands. So naturally, after graduating high school, he decided to take a gap year in Israel to connect with his roots. And the closer he grew to his new Israeli friends, the more he reflected on his own identity. As a descendant of Holocaust survivors on both sides, he understood the importance of a strong Israel. So, being the person that he is, he made the decision to join his new friends and serve in the IDF and protect the country. He was drafted as a lone soldier in the Armor Corps. He was protecting people when he was taken by Hamas. And since then, our lives have turned upside down. From a place of deep pain, we hold strong for you, Omer. We speak in your name tirelessly. We hope and pray and we act. And I must believe that our prayers and actions have power. Omer, you're not just my beloved son. You touch so many in deep and profound ways.
I cannot imagine what it would be like to have a family member held hostage over there.
Bring them home. 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 Bring them home.
Your friends, their parents, whole communities, both here and around the world, are praying and working for your safe return. And to everyone gathered here today, I want to tell you that there is power in speaking Omer's name, posting his picture, and keeping his story in the public eye, calling your representatives every single day. There is power in showing him the same love and compassion he has spent his young life showing everyone he meets. We all must use the power that we have to help bring Omer and all of the hostages home now.
Bring them home.
Bring them home. Bring them home. Thank you.
Yes, bring them home.
My name is Alana Zajcik, and I'm here to tell you about love. On October 7th, my cousin Sharon, her husband David, their 3-year-old twins Emma and Yuli, my cousin Danielle, her 5-year-old daughter Amelia, all 6 of them were brutally kidnapped from kibbutz Nir Oz. While the kibbutz was ravaged by Hamas, they hid in their bomb shelter for hours until it filled with smoke and they could not hide any longer, at which point Sharon sent a haunting voice note to her family group chat. We're not going to make it out of this. We love you. The pain I have experienced since they were taken has been so sharp it follows my every breath. I wake up each morning to remember this truth. My family is being held hostage by terrorists. I am here with you because I love my family, and I promised I would scream to the ends of the earth for them. This unwavering love of family is the heart of what it means to be Jewish, and it is, more importantly, the heart of what it means to be human. But for too many in the West, the suffering of hostage families like mine has become a footnote, collateral damage in service of some perceived higher universal truth. For too many, it feels like to care about one family, to love one child, is to diminish the suffering of another. But the simple human truth is that you don't have to choose. You can abhor the suffering of Palestinian families and the suffering of Israeli families like mine. You can call for peace and the immediate return of the innocent men, women, and children who were violently taken from us. It doesn't need to be political to share in my grief or in the anguish that the Israeli people are feeling. To demand the release of the hostages is not an act of politics, nor is it a cry for war. It is an act of love and a cry for humanity. And love is the only thing that can repair our shattered hearts and bring us back together in the name of peace. Thank you.
Well said.
My name is Rachel, and I am the mother of Hirsch Goldberg Poland, a wounded civilian American Israeli kidnapped from the music festival on October 7th. Right now, how we are living is hard to describe to you. We hostage families have lived the last 39 days in slow motion torment. For 38 nights, none of us have slept the real sleep of the before. We all have third-degree burns on our souls. Our hearts are bruised and seeping with misery. But the real soul's suffering are those of the hostages. And they want to ask everyone in the world, all the screamers, the indifferent, the experts, the academics, the knowledgeable, the passives, the perfectly outraged, the righteous, the indignant, the haters, the leaders, the lovers, the every single one of us. Why? Why is the world accepting that 240 human beings from almost 30 countries have been stolen and buried alive? These children of God range in age from 9 months to 87 years. They are Christians, Muslims, Jews, Buddhists, and Hindu. Why are they being left underground in the dirt? Abigail Moore Edan is 3 years old. She watched her parents get murdered in front of her and was then kidnapped. And she would like me to ask the world, why are you letting her stay in the dark, in her trauma, buried in the earth's crust? And Joshua Molel, who is a Tanzanian African graduate student studying agribusiness, would like for me to ask you why somehow his life actually doesn't matter. The world must prepare what we will say to them. There was a Christian German who hid Jews during the Holocaust, and he was asked why he did such a heroic and dangerous act. His answer was simple. At least I will know when I die and stand before God, he will not ask me what he asked Cain in the Bible. Where were you when your brother's blood cried out from the ground? What the world needs to start thinking about today is, what will your excuse be? Bring them home now. Bring them home.
Very powerful. Incredibly powerful. Thank you all for clicking on the
Please welcome
the march is supposed to go on till 3 o'clock.
Caucus to combat anti-Semitism.
We'll see if there
Senator
is indeed a
Jackie
march
Rosen,
after
Senator James Lankford, Representative Chris Smith, and Representative Kathy Manning.
Another bipartisan effort here, 2 Congress people and 2 senators, 2 members of the House, 2 senators.
Please join us now as we recite a prayer for the hostages. God of mercy and compassion, we pray, we plead that you bless, protect, and guard those of your people, Israel, and of your people from all faiths and all nations, mothers, fathers, sons and daughters, soldiers, civilians, adults, youth, and babies, the captured and the missing, who have been cruelly and heartlessly torn from their homes and carried off.
May God have compassion on them and bring them out from darkness and the shadow of death. May God break their bonds, deliver them from their distress, and bring them swiftly back to their families' embrace. As we read in the words of the prophet Jeremiah, restrain your voice from weeping and your eyes from tears, for your work will be rewarded, declares the Lord. They will return from the land of the enemy.
And so we pray before you, O God of redemption, fulfill speedily the words of Genesis. Quote, "Here I am with you. I will watch over you wherever you go, and will bring you back to this land Indeed, I will not leave you until I have done what I have said to you.
May the Holy One do all that must be done, so that relief, rescue, and long life may be the lot of every one of the civilians and the soldiers who have been taken captive. We pray in the words of the 130th Psalm, Shir Hama'alot Mima'akim Karaticha Adonai. Out of the depths have we called you, O Lord. O Lord, hear our voices. Be attentive to our supplications, and let us say together, Amen.
Amen.
Much more somber and spiritual, I guess.
Please welcome back to the stage the Maccabees
of bipartisan legislators. The Maccabees, I saw them
We ask that everyone
in the beginning.
please join us in singing this prayer for our brothers and sisters in Israel. Achenu kol beit Yisrael. Let's have our voices be heard.
Once again, the rally is supposed to end at 3 p.m. And we'll see if this is the ending.
Kol beit Yisrael. Achenu kol beit Yisrael. Hanisuni lebatzara, batzara uvashivya, haomdim bein bayam uvein bayabasha. Achenu kol beit Yisrael. Achenu kol beit Yisrael. Hanisuni lebatzara, batzara uvashivya, haomdim bein bayam uvein bayabasha. Let's hear you, come on! Hamakom yirachem, yirachem aleihem, yosiem mitzara, lirvocha, umefela liora, umishibur legeula hashta, bagala uvizman korim. Louder, louder. Hamakom yirachem, yirachem aleihem, yosiem mitzara, lirvocha, umefela liora, umishibur legeula hashta, bagala uvizman korim. One more time, one more time. So today is all about unity. So we want to invite to the stage a very, very special friend. Everyone, please give it up for Matisyahu. Yo! Oh!
I am here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say, we don't wanna fight no more, there'll be no more war, and our children will play. One day, one day, one day, oh, one day, one day, one day. It's not about win or lose, we can lose when they feed on the soul of that innocent, blood-drenched baby. Keep on moving, don't know what to say, yeah. And in this maze, you can lose your way, your way. It might drive you crazy, but don't let it phase you, no way, no way. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. Washington, D.C., let me hear you. My life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say, we don't wanna fight no more, there'll be no more war, and our children will play. One day, one day, one day, oh, one day, one day, one day.
I hope he's right. One day there will be no war. Like that for a long time. Maybe the coming generations will be able to do it right.
Treat people the same, stop with the violence. One day we'll all be free and proud to be. I've been praying for the people to say, we don't wanna fight no more, be no more war, our children will play. One day, one day, one day, one day. I hope America's listening. The Jewish people will not back down. Bring our hostages back. Bring our hostages back. Let's go. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. What a beautiful thing to see you all here, everybody together. The world has no idea how the Jews come together. Let's go. One day, one day, one day.
Thank you so much.
Well, that was a great way to end it. If
Please
indeed ended
welcome
it.
Israel's ambassador to the United States, Michael Herzog.
So it is not going to be ending at 3 p.m. We'll stay with it.
My friends, my brothers and sisters,
The Jewish state is under attack, and the Jewish people are under attack. On October 7th, I received a call from a senior IDF general who shouted, "Israel is at war. We are at war." Since then, our lives have changed. Thousands of Hamas terrorists infiltrated dozens of Israeli communities and tortured, murdered, and kidnapped every civilian they could find. They not only committed unimaginable atrocities, they documented and celebrated them. Let me be clear. We did not start this war, but we must finish it. We must finish the war to ensure that the Hamas murder machine in Gaza is dismantled for good. We must finish the war to send a loud and clear message to Hamas's evil sponsors in Iran and Iranian proxies. Israel will never tolerate any attack on our soil.
Incredibly
and we
interesting.
must finish this war to return the hostages.
Juxtaposition between the last song and this speech.
We will leave no stone unturned until we bring them back home. Bring them back home. There is simply no other choice for a nation that values life. Thankfully, we are not alone. The majority of Americans stand firmly with Israel. Thank you to President Biden and his administration for your steadfast support. Thank you to the numerous members of Congress from both sides of the aisle. Some of them are here for raising your voices in support of Israel. We will not forget your backing during these dark days. And now, let me say to all of you, the hundreds of thousands of people gathered here today, you are incredible. You give us strength. Now is the time to raise your voice. We are witnessing mass rallies around the globe and also here in the US, vilifying Israel, glorifying Hamas, and celebrating the murder of Jews. We are witnessing Jewish students assaulted and silenced on college campuses. We are witnessing Jewish demonstrators attacked and in some cases killed. The dark demons of anti-Semitism have been unleashed. The choice between good and evil has never been clearer. Do you stand with a terror organization that kills women, children, and the elderly in cold blood? Or do you stand with a democracy that does everything in its power to protect civilian life on both sides? My friends, there are defining moments in history, and this is one of them. At this moment, no one can remain silent. We must raise our voices in support of the one and only Jewish state.
I'm not sure where the bleed over audio is coming from. I don't have any other windows open.
Oppose Israel's right to defend itself.
It's coming from somewhere either
Raise
in
our
the
voices
stream that
when
we
we see
have
Jew
or
hatred being
on
spewed
Skype.
unchecked. Raise our voices loud to denounce Hamas for what it is, the barbaric ISIS-like terror organization. Raise our voices loud to bring all the hostages back home. And raise our voices loud for those who no longer have a voice. My friends and my brothers and sisters, we are a grieving nation, yet we are united and determined. And together with you, through our shared voices, values, and strength, together, we will defeat evil and we will prevail. Am Israel Chai.
Please welcome Pastor John Hagee, Dillard University President Dr. Rochelle Ford, and Anila Ali.
This ought to be interesting. It's quite the threesome there as far as representing different spectrums of faith. Many of you will recognize this guy, John Hagee.
As we gather here today, in Israel's darkest hour since the Holocaust, the Jewish people once again search the globe for friends. I am here to deliver a singular message. Israel, you are not alone. I want you to shout that loud enough for them to hear it in Jerusalem. Ready? Jerusalem, Israel, you are not alone. Israel, you are not alone. Israel, you're not alone. While the Jewish state faces the greatest danger since her rebirth 75 years ago, we pray for the people of Israel and the leaders of Israel. May God give you the wisdom of Solomon and the courage of King David and the victories of Joshua. You, the leaders of Israel, and you alone, should determine how this war is going to be conducted and concluded. You decide, no one else. Israel has shown the world that it overcame the tragedy of the Holocaust through the power of hope. Israel has demonstrated the courage to make peace with its neighbors. Israel has always proved that it has the strength to wage war against its enemies. From the 5 Arab armies that tried to destroy the newly reborn state in 1948, to Hamas and Hezbollah, Iran's proxy armies, to my Jewish brothers and sisters, it is tempting to look at the present darkness and think that nothing has changed. However, things have changed. More than 40 years ago, I joined forces with an Orthodox rabbi, Rabbi Scheinberg, to bring Christians and Jews together in mutual love and respect. We stood shoulder to shoulder and we made this declaration. If a line has to be drawn, then draw that line around both Christians and Jews. We are one. We are one. We are one. Today we extend that line around everyone who is gathered here.
It's a
We
nice
must
sentiment,
all
but
stand united with one voice
it's not the way it is in
and boldly
reality.
declare over and over, Israel, you are not alone. After the October 7th massacre, we must all make choices. We either choose to love life or we choose death. We choose peace or terror. We choose Israel or Hamas. There is no middle ground in this conflict. You're either for the Jewish people or you're not.
Totally disagree with that sentiment, but we'll talk about it tomorrow night at 9 when Chris joins
Look at
us for
history.
War Situation Report.
From
Hope you'll join us
Pharaoh
too.
to Haman to Hitler, all of these anti-Semitic cowards are remembered only for their failed attempt to destroy God's chosen people. And Hamas is going to suffer the same fate. To Israel's enemies, making threats against Israel is nothing more than a self-fulfilling prophecy about yourself. When you speak of Israel passing away with a sudden storm, you're only speaking of your own demise. Where are the nations that have persecuted the Jewish people? They are historic footnotes in the boneyard of human history. Where is Israel and the Jewish people that despite the efforts of Iran, Hamas, and Hezbollah to destroy the Jewish nation, Israel lives, Israel lives, Israel lives.
They should have stopped this. They should have ended this when the singing happened, because that was a beautiful moment. Just something to think about.
Israel may be shaken, but she is not shattered. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob guarantees Israel's deliverance will come, as proclaimed every year during Passover. It says, in every generation they rise against Israel to destroy it. And the Holy One, blessed be He, saves Israel from their hands. The Bible says, He that keepeth Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. To those who seek to justify the slaughter of Israelis by demonizing the Jewish state, Israel is not merely a state. When millions of Zionists mention Israel, they don't just mean the only freedom-loving democracy. Israel is this and more. Israel is the apple of God's eye. Israel is the shining city on the hill. Israel says, God says of Israel, Israel is my firstborn son.
He's overlooking Ezekiel 38 and 39.
Jerusalem is the city of God.
God basically destroys
Jerusalem is the shoreline of eternity. Jerusalem is the eternal capital of Israel today and forever.
And again, they should have ended this with the singing.
Whose flag will fly over the ancient walls of the sacred city of Jerusalem. That nation is Israel, now and forever.
This guy should have shut up. He ought to be getting the message that they're done.
Those of us standing here,
and you can tell from the rumbling in the crowd, not just me talking over the
we're
guy.
not here during
The crowd is like,
but we're here
the
now.
buzz in the crowd is telling you,
And we
shut
stand
up. We
shoulder
don't want
to
to hear you
shoulder
anymore.
with the Jewish people. We stand until those 240 hostages are returned to their homes.
Okay, I'm going to stop talking about him now.
For where there is unity, God Almighty will command His blessings. When America was attacked in World War II, victory was our only aim. And Israel should be afforded that same opportunity. For history has shown that without victory, there is no survival. Israel has victory, and that victory will come when all of the hostages are safely home. Israel's victory comes when the terror tunnels have been destroyed. Israel's victory will come when Hamas and Hezbollah are in the ash heap of history along with Haman and Hitler. There is no substitute for victory. May God bless Israel. May God bless the United States of America. May God bless the Jewish people. And may God bless all who have gathered here today until we overcome the tyranny of the Middle East. Israel, you are not alone today, tomorrow, and forever. God bless the Jewish state.
The guy talked longer than any other single person I watched. I timed it, actually. I've been timing them. And I question why he was even on the roster. I understand why she's there.
Is always perfect. For about 6 months, Rabbi Ari Berman, Yeshiva's president, and I have been trying to meet regarding partnerships with Dillard University's revived National Center for Black-Jewish Relations.
If you're hearing snoring, it's Oakley on my lap.
Finally connected on October 11th when Rabbi Berman just returned from Israel. His heart was heavy, and I said to him, the Bible says that the Jewish people won when Moses held his arms up. But who was holding Moses's arms? It was Aaron and Hur. Let us be your Aaron and Hur. Lean on us. At the same time, we must know that winning today will only happen when there is peace in the Middle East, and when there is an end to anti-Semitism and hate everywhere. Therefore, I ask you to join me in pausing to acknowledge that have been too many innocent people
Okay, not sure what happened there. That was not me. But we have lost audio on the feed. Let me try this real quick. No, we are, here, I'll shrink it so you all can see. Volume's up. We're live, but we have no volume. Hang with me for just a second here. Hang with me for just a second. We will, what I'll do is I'll try to refresh and see if we can get volume back. We've been going about 3 hours, so no, still no volume. Let me try one more thing. Okay, let's see if this will work. No. Okay, just so you're aware, let me hop over to the YouTube site and show that same thing's going on here. No volume. Okay, the chat over here. This is Fox 5 Washington, and the chat is asking why no volume, no sound. So, two different sites that I've monitored early this morning, and no volume on either one of them at the moment. I'm not sure why, honestly. Let's see. Yeah, still no volume. Okay, so I'm going to pop this back up real quick here while we've got a couple of moments, and we'll see if we can get the audio figured out on one of the two sites anyway. The significance of the rally today, the significance of America's unwavering support for Israel is displayed on this map. Alaska, while being as larger than many other countries in the world, our 50th state up here in the north. I'm not sure why Hawaii out here is not red, but those in red support Israel by voting against a mandatory ceasefire. Those in yellow, such as Canada, Greenland, Iceland, let's see, two of the Norwegian countries, United Kingdom, France, Italy, voted in abstention, meaning they voted in the middle. They voted for neither side. And those that were supporting a ceasefire are in the green. Mexico, Brazil, Argentina, almost the entire South American continent, almost the entire African continent, and much of the Asian Pacific and Eastern European. So the significance of today's rally being it's basically us and Israel, and that's really kind of overwhelmingly jumps out, at least to me, when seeing the map, and that's where we stand. Now let me hop back over and see if we have some volume. And we apparently do not. Oh, there we go. No sound. No sound. And that's coming up in the chat. Sound, no question mark, sound, no sound. So again, I'm not sure what happened. It just suddenly cut off, and it's not me. Let me make sure it's not me. Check my signal strength. Yeah, it's not me. So I guess we will. Let me do another thing here real quick and see if I can. Okay, so far nothing here. Hang on, I'm going to try to see if I can find a site. Let's see. All right. Okay, video is going to play after the commercial. Mute that. Come back over here again. Say thank you all for watching. Thanks for hanging out. And
unforgivable. I have been to Israel 3 times, and I have seen for myself how Muslims can gain by making peace with Israel.
Okay, we got double volume now. Hang on.
People and focusing on a future together. Let's look at United Arab Emirates.
Right, something's going on because we've got
another delegation of Muslim American women leaders.
We've got a major echo now from there.
And we will meet with Israelis and Muslims
and here we go. Got
whose
it.
loved ones have been murdered on October 7th.
We're back.
And
Only
those Muslims who risked their lives to save dozens of Jews on that day. Let me tell all of you,
crowding out.
Muslims and Jews are
Maybe that's why we didn't have that view
enemies.
before.
We
Crowd
are stronger
really
together.
thinning out.
We are blessed together.
It was packed, saying 200,000 people earlier, and you can see even up front.
Peace be upon him. And now, today,
a lot of spaces, a lot of empty spaces,
are called upon
doesn't
to
go quite as
fulfill
far in
that
the back.
Historic destiny together.
I'm sitting here with my
I know
pointer,
this is a dark
like you
time,
can see what I was
but this
talking
is
about.
also a historic moment. We will emerge stronger, more united than ever before, and together we will forge a lasting peace. Inshallah. B'Zirah Hashem. Amen. And now, as these young Jewish students are proclaiming, I proclaim with you, Am Israel Chai. Am Israel Chai.
Kids were running in every direction. Nobody knew which way was the way to safety.
They're our seniors. They're our...
Okay, let me go back. Hang on. There we go. Again, the crowd thinning out, but the march was, the event was supposed to run from 1 to 3. It's 3:36 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the people have been standing out there. Some of them have been standing out there for 4 to 5 hours. And they're showing something on the screen. And
one thing I do know is that as much as possible, we need to work on consensus building, not with intimidation tactics, but with debate and discussion and civil discourse.
Being publicly and proudly Jewish on campus is not easy right now, but I refuse to hide my Judaism or my support for Israel.
I see posters of kids just like me and my friends being torn down by people who call themselves activists.
As they leave the event, the event was not, obviously was not interrupted.
We're Jewish, we're determined, we're strong, and just like Israel will win its war against Hamas, we, the Jews and students, will win
as they
the war
leave the
against
event,
anti-Semitism.
I have my head on a swivel.
That's what we
for
see the best
smaller
way to
groups
counteract this
looking
hate
for
is to come together as a community.
smaller
We
groups
hosted a
of
vigil where over 750
counter
students showed up.
protesters,
It was one
let's
of the
say,
most powerful moments I've ever
looking for
experienced,
small groups
just seeing so many people come together.
Israeli supporters.
It's so important that we all stay together as a community, no matter how scary it seems right now. We will not give up.
Please welcome Michael Rappaport.
What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody in the back? Everybody in the back, everybody in the front, all you beautiful Jewish people.
I think I might have a volume and nope. Okay. There's Rappaport speaking, but we don't get the volume. We don't get the audio. So let me hop back over here and see if we can get.
But Jewish
okay, well,
people
his audio,
around
but
the world,
the camera is obviously not on him.
We have heard it all.
About that.
Israel is not going anywhere. Jewish people are not going anywhere. I encourage everybody to continue to support each and every one of us. And to the people that aren't with us, you're going to thank us later. All you young people in the front, you are beautiful. You're beautiful. Stay strong, all right? Stay safe, stay sane, and make sure you stay disruptive. I'm bringing up two beautiful young students who have been dealing with all the bullshit on campuses in this country. The shocking anti-Semitism, the anti-Jewishness that's taking place here on the college universities. Everybody make sure to pray, to send love to all the hostages, to all the families that are from all around the world. Make sure you don't forget them. I've talked to some of them here today. I'm bringing up Sabrina Sofer from the George Washington University and Noah Fay from Columbia University. Listen to what they have to say, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Shalom lekulam. Hello, everyone. You will now hear the voices of students. And I want to open with one message that has helped me through these tough times. If you want to save the world, go home and love your family. We are here at the heart of our American home, united as one family. Am Yisrael, arm in arm with the American people. From family.
This is what she looks like. These are the two young ladies that are going to be talking. I don't know if we're hearing them. Hang on. Maybe I can do it this way and get audio from one site and the video from another. No, I don't want to add to the stream. Again, I'm not sure where all the bleed over audio is coming from. Major audio problems at that site today, obviously. She's talking for a long time. Okay.
Long journey ahead of us, I know. And I know that many of my peers faced with so much hatred and anti-Semitism on campus
I was trying to
and hopeless.
Trying to get two
them
streams.
I say, look around you.
Hopefully you got
we are the
volume
Jews
now.
of the diaspora. This is how we fight. We fight loudly and we fight peacefully. We are far from helpless. We are far from hopeless.
Again, I have no volume on the
our administrators are beginning to stand with us. And here in our nation's capital, America stands with us. We are not alone.
And the video that does have the audio we are looking at right now.
Herzog,
and it's just showing the crowd, and the crowd is, as you can see, is dispersing
but the trunk
gradually.
Remains. We lost a beautiful branch on October 7th, we did. But as I look in front of me now, I see a very sturdy trunk. And it is from this trunk that I know more branches will grow should we will it. Toda rabah.
Please welcome the President and CEO of the Jewish Federations of North America, Eric Fingerhut, and the CEO of the Conference of Presidents, William Daroff.
on behalf of the leadership and the 50 member organizations of the Conference of Presidents of Major American Jewish Organizations, I thank you for coming today to this historic March for Israel.
Okay, I think we're getting ready to wrap it here.
And on behalf of the leadership of the 146 Jewish federations across North America, I thank you for your resolve and your determination to show up today on the National Mall, America's front yard, to exercise our democratic rights.
We have indeed made history today, with over 290,000 of us gathered here on the National Mall.
290,000?
This is the largest pro-Israel gathering in history. There are also
a lot of them have
250,000 watching on live stream and C-SPAN right now. And there are also 900 participants from the Detroit Federation who arrived at the Dulles airport a few hours ago, whose bus drivers refused to take them to a pro-Israel event.
Wow.
Look what we can do in just over a week. Imagine what we can do. Today's crowd brings together every sector of American life, people of all faiths and creed, of all races and background, to say together with unity and strength, we support Israel's fight to rid itself of the terror threat and restore safety and security to its people. We demand the immediate and unconditional release of the hostages held in captivity in Gaza. Bring them home. Bring them home. Bring them home. And we will not allow the haters and the anti-Semites to intimidate us. We are America, and America is us.
We thank and appreciate the bipartisan support of Israel from the President of the United States, Joe Biden, and the United States Congress, as reflected here today. We want them to know that support for Israel in America is overwhelming and bipartisan and transcends geography and ideology. Americans support Israel and understand why it must be victorious in its war against the Hamas terrorist army. And America's leaders must continue to reflect the will of the American people.
And today's historic crowd also brings together every segment of the diverse Jewish community in this great country. We stand here together on the National Mall proudly to declare our unity in face of the most dangerous threat to the Jewish people since the Holocaust, the need to defeat the murderous, barbarous Hamas army that has already tortured and murdered thousands of Jews and will continue on this path if not stopped.
As we face this challenge, our core values of Torah, our heritage, tefillah, our prayerful quest, and tzedakah, acts of goodness and kindness, guide us forward with a unique strength.
Of course, our work does not stop here today. We must continue to march in our communities and in every forum we have available to us.
Contact your members of Congress and urge them to support the supplemental package of aid to Israel.
Contact your alma mater and demand that they act against the anti-Semitism on campus and defend the rights of Jewish students to go to school free of intimidation and harassment.
Keep the hostages in the forefront of our thoughts and actions, in our conversations and on our social media and in our prayers.
Bring them home. 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 And support and advocate for Israel in your communities, your businesses, your schools, and your neighborhoods. Support for Israel in the capital begins with support for Israel back home. This will be a long fight. In the words of the psalm, we must neither slumber nor sleep. Hinei lo yanum v'lo yishan shomer Yisrael.
As we leave the National Mall today, we do so with gratitude for all the Americans of all faiths and walks of life who have joined us in this march. You know that Israel's fight against Hamas is no different than America's fight against ISIS or Al-Qaeda, and victory must be fought in the same manner.
And as we leave this National Mall today, we do so with gratitude to all who helped make today possible, and especially to the law enforcement agencies who made our visit to the nation's capital a priority. And we leave with a love of America deep in our souls. Let our faith in God, our love of country, and our love of all the people of Israel guide us today and always. Baruch atah b'voecha, Baruch atah b'tzeitecha. Blessed were you in coming, blessed may you be in your travels home. And now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome again, Omer Adam.
Oh, well, we're going to get one more song, I guess. But, we're not going to be able to see it. Still nothing there.
Today to show the world how strong we are. I have never seen our country and the Jewish people around the world unite together like now. We need to keep speaking up. We need to keep posting. We need to keep getting together and keep showing the world how strong we are. Because each and every one of you makes the difference. So Be'ezrat Hashem, we will return all the hostages and all the Chayalim safe and sounds back home. And it will never happen again. So let's pray all of us together with Modeh Ani. Am Yisrael Chai. Modeh Ani kol boker she'achzor et nishmati. Modeh Ani al beder she'enam al gufi she'lo yeh li kar ata shomer alai. כל בוקר על כוחי, על ארצי ועל עמי, מודה אני עליכם שנתת בשדותיי, לדאוג לאוהביי, נתת לי חיי. על יום המנוחה, על שפע וברכה, על המשפחה, כל כולי רק בזכותך. אז דע לך, שמודה אני לך. בוא נשמע אתכם. עצה
thinning out. Younger people moving to the front. Security officer jamming a little bit over here. And that's the end of the stream, evidently, as they just went off. So we'll follow suit after 3 hours, 34 minutes, and 45 seconds. Not going away. So far, it's been peaceful. Yes, it was peaceful. That's just the way we like them. And hopefully everyone gets home safely. Hopefully there are no altercations, with anybody leaving the event. And that's got to be a concern. In smaller numbers are easier targets. Most of these targets are going to be soft targets. Wait a minute. I don't know if you're hearing that or not, but it came back on for just a second. The volume came back on, at least in my headphones, so at least through my monitor, but I can't see where it came back on at. All right, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Again, thank you for being here. Hopefully nothing happens on the way home. The preparations were obviously in place for protection of this group and this event. We're thankful for that. It'll be interesting to see, what comes in the future. I'm very thankful that this wasn't, that there wasn't a major attack, that there wasn't, something on our soil, so to speak, drag us more quickly into a conflict that we are on a road to entering very soon. And we've shown the map a couple of times. It's just going to be us and Israel. We'll talk more about that tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Chris joins at 9 p.m. and World Situation Report. If you happen to be new and you don't know, Chris is a counterterrorism and military expert, has a police background. I myself got a background in a lot of different things, politics, government, ministry, education, media. So between the two of us, we cover a lot of bases, and we don't do it with an agenda. We do it with neutrality and looking at things objectively. And I hope you'll join us. We'll do it again tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Always be kind. Thank you. Wait a second. We got a song coming. I got a song coming through my headphone from somewhere. Let's see. Are we back here? If I can get this up, I'll let the song play out and end the stream after the song. Again, I'm getting it through my headphones. So I'll just let this play out, and then we'll end the stream. Thank you all. Just hearing me, you're not hearing the okay, that's where the sound was coming from. All right. Oh, here's me. All right. In that case, we will drop that out. I'll get this out of my headphones, and we will say again, thanks for being here. Thanks for clicking on. Thanks for hanging out, especially if you hung out for the whole time. Greatly appreciate that. And unless something incredibly major happens, won't be back on tonight. We will be on tomorrow night at 9 p.m. for the World Situation Report, as we always do. And Chris will be joining us at 9, and I hope you will be too. Until then, namaste, shalom, shalom, assalamu alaikum. Blessings be upon you from the Most High, the one true living God, if you so desire them. Peace. A word often overused and a concept not often enough implemented. Love you all like chocolate chip cookies. It's a dark world. Try to be a light.